Awnee was unsure how to approach Minowi in a time of such pain. "I'm concerned about your friend, but I don't think I can stop Tsar without Aries' golden tears to set free your friends or the wardens," she said. "I'm trying to think about when he just threw me like I was nothing, and I know he didn't really mean it. It's because of Tsar and Aries, but it hurts," Minowi said. "I'm sorry," Awnee began, but was abruptly startled by a rustling in the bushes. Something poked its head out and made a menacing shadow. Awnee whispered to her friend, "Minowi, hide! He could have followed us." They ran behind a tree to hide from what could be Tsar and his newly created minions. Just then, a Chorizer pounced on Awnee, putting its claws at her neck, and yelled, "Minowi, run!" "Ah! Let me go!" cried Awnee as she struggled to get free. When she tried to push the claw away from her neck, she got pricked by spikes protruding from their skin. "Wait! No! She's my friend!" exclaimed Minowi. Chorizer was hesitant, but released Awnee. "If you say so," he said. Awnee gasped to catch her breath and shook with fear. "I'm sorry," said Chorizer. "I'm Minowi's friend, and I wanted to check on how she was doing after the Redwoods fire. But when I heard crying, I thought someone was hurting her. Then I saw you take her to the trees." "Well, I'm pretty harmless, and I would never attempt to hurt Minowi," Awnee replied, annoyed. Minowi was moved by her friend's attempt to save her. "Aw, that's sweet of you to try to protect me, Chorizer." She hugged her friend and then slapped his snout. "Don't do that to Awnee again." Minowi explained to Chorizer what happened to Helion. Awnee thought as she spoke, trying to find a clever way to defeat Tsar since she and Minowi were quite helpless. Then she thought of something. "I got it," she said. "Chorizer, can you help Minowi and me get to Tsar?" Chorizer was surprised that Awnee would ask for his help, but was thrilled at the concept. "Sure. But what can I do to help?" Before explaining the plan, Awnee told Chorizer all about her journey and her alliance with Helion and Minowi. And only then did she begin to tell her plan. "So you're covered in spikes, and there's no way Tsar would want to bite you. Minowi will go get Aries while you fight with Tsar. Once Minowi is done, I will come in to continue the fight with Tsar. Meanwhile, Minowi will bite Aries until the gold tears start to form. You give me the cue, and I will run over to fill up my orbs. Sounds good?" Minowi was excited about the plan. "That's perfect! What do you think, Chorizer?" "It's awesome," he replied. Awnee was getting excited too. "Great!" she exclaimed. Awnee noticed that the plants around them were beginning to wilt. "We better get going now before it's too late," she said, now feeling a sense of urgency. They ran back to the hot springs and scanned the area to find Aries, who was behind Tsar on a hill lying down. "There they are! Are you guys ready?" Awnee whispered. Korrizer ran up to Tsar and poked him. "Ah! Who did that?" yelled Tsar. "Me. What are you gonna do about it?" taunted Korrizer. Tsar hissed and tried to swipe his tail to hit Korrizer but got hurt. "Ha! What now?" asked Korrizer. Tsar shot his beam as Korrizer ran around him, and Korrizer barely missed. "Ah!" he yelled. Meanwhile, Minowi moved over to Aries to try to wake her. "Hey, Aries!" Aries woke up but instantly growled at Minowi. After some soothing, Aries calmed and began to relax. As Awnee ran to push Korrizer out of harm's way, she punched Tsar's leg. "Missed me?" she asked. "I knew I smelled a rat again." Tsar snarled as he swept his tail and missed her. Back with Aries, Minowi bit until Aries began to cry the golden tears. "Yes!" said Minowi, feeling optimistic. Just then, Ardor stood up and roared at Minowi as he slammed a large paw onto her, pinning her to the ground. "Ah!" she exclaimed in pain. Helion awoke to the screams of his friend, which pulled him out of his mind control and ran over to push Ardor out of the way. "Minowi, are you okay?" I'm fine," Minowi replied. Aries was able to let out a call that alerted Tsar, and Tsar flew over, leaving Awnee on the ground weakened. "Hand over the worm now," said Tsar to Helion. "Never," yelled Helion in defiance to his previous master. "Asked for the hard way, Let's see how well you fight with your warden friend." Tsar roared and called to Ardor, who immediately bit Helion. Helion was ready for this attack, though, and bit Ardor's mask, dropping him to the ground. "How sad," Tsar said, "doing this to an old friend to protect this one small, weak creature." Helion then lunged at Tsar and bit his main head. "Ah! You'll pay for that," Tsar exclaimed. Aries roared and used stardust at Helion to get his mind back under the control of Tsar. Helion's eyes began to glow again. He was still holding the weak Minowi in his hands. Aries said maniacally, "Let's see how much of that strength can crush your little friend." Helion then looked at his friend, helpless in his claws, and crushed her, letting her fall to the ground. Awnee yelled and ran over to her friend's side. "No! Minowi!" Awnee tried her hardest to heal Minowi, but was unable. "No, please! I'm so sorry!" Just then, Tsar grabbed Awnee and bit her orbs, causing them to crack. Awnee then tried to punch his mouth, but got cut by his razor-sharp teeth. Seeing her in pain, Tsar took the opportunity to slam her to the ground. "Just admit it, Awnee. I have won." Awnee looked at her arm and noticed something. "Why is it shiny?" she wondered. She thought for a moment and then got up, legs weak. "You're right. You have won. Why not finish me now?" she taunted. As Tsar lunged at Awnee, she put her bleeding arm out and punched Tsar with all her might to bring a bigger gash. Tsar's mouth made a small snap sound. "Gah!" he yelled. Awnee looked at her arm and was pleased to see that the blood was dripping more freely now. She scooped up some of the blood and put it in her orbs. "Come on, please work. You're my last chance." The orbs rattled as Aries flew in, trying to grab the orbs and take over Annie's mind. Awnee grabbed Aries by the feathers on her head and punched her in the third eye. This way, she was unable to corrupt Annie's mind. Awnee, weak from blood loss, punched one more time, but was grabbed and thrown to the wall by Ares. Ares then bit the orbs, but Awnee only grinned. Tsar looked over, panicked. "Wait! You fool! Don't bite!" The orbs rattled louder and exploded, letting out a bright white flash. Awnee then stood up, healed, but still weak. She turned to see that Ares was back to its elegant white, corruption gone. Helion shook his head and gasped when he looked down, seeing his friend lying there badly damaged. "Minowi!" he cried. Tears began to come to his eyes as he remembered what happened. Just then, his warden's rage kicked in. "Where's Tsar?" Tsar, unsure of what to do, tried to fly away, but Helion grabbed him by the wing and ripped it, making him unable to escape. "You hurt my friend!" "No, you were the one who crushed that thing," Tsar said, foolishly testing his captor's patience. Helion drug him to a cliff and hung Tsar over the edge. "You're making a big mistake," said Tsar. Helion began. "No," Awnee interjected. "No." Helion dropped Tsar down on the green land. Helion was not sure what his friend meant. "What? Are you crazy?" he yelled. Awnee, staying her course, assured Helion, "I know what I'm doing. Drop him now." "Ugh, fine," protested Helion. Awnee walked up to Tsar and whispered, "If I ever see your face here again, I will make sure to erase you from every dimension, and I will not stop. Ever." Then Awnee healed Tsar's torn wing, and Tsar flew away, scared. Awnee turned to her friend Helion, who had Minowi in his hands. Helion sullenly stated, "It was my fault." Awnee replied, "I'm sorry for this, Helion. You didn't deserve for this to happen. I didn't want this to happen." Ares flew over to the pair and asked, "May I see Minowi, Helion?" Helion hesitated, but knowing he had no other chance of saving his friend, laid Minowi next to Ares. She laid down next to Minowi and mumbled something, then told Awnee to put her hands on Minowi. Awnee obeyed and put her hands on the unmoving Minowi. Helion was shocked at what happened next. Minowi shook her head. What happened?" Helion grabbed Minowi, giving her a big hug. "You're back! Even your glowing is back!" Minowi looked at herself confused. She had her glow back. Ares spoke. "I was the one who gave your friend's life back, but Awnee was the one who brought your friend's glow back. Thank you, Awnee, for saving the wardens and me, but also our world. We will forever be grateful." Ares bowed down, and Helion and Minowi followed suit. "Thank you so much," said Awnee, who nodded and then frowned. "What's wrong?" asked Helion. "You should be happy, fighting that awful beast." "I know, but I can't go back home now," replied Awnee. "My orbs were destroyed when trying to fight Tsar." Ares then stepped in. "Don't worry about that, Awnee. I can take you home." Awnee was ecstatic and asked, "Really? I mean, how can you?" Then she continued, "I'm from a different dimension, and I wouldn't think you're capable of doing something like that." "Yes," Ares stated. "I never do it because of the risks, but I must repay you for everything you've done." "Thank you," replied Awnee. Minowi then walked up slowly and asked, "Do you really have to go?" "Well, who else is going to protect my home? I will come back to visit you guys very soon." Minowi was sad. "You promise?" Awnee confirmed that she did indeed promise. Everyone hugged, sad that Awnee had to leave, but happy that they had defeated the evil Tsar. "Wait, what about our deal?" Awnee asked Helion. "It's okay. I can find the clan myself. Our deal is off since you saved Minowi's life." Awnee smiled and turned to Aries and followed her. "Ready?" Aries asked. "Yep. This Awnee is ready to go home."